Right, so today we're talking about how to actually position yourself so that you can get the advisory clients instead of your business coaches taking the advisory clients. That's what we're talking about today. I'm going to be sharing with you conversations that you can have to position yourself as the business coach stroke advisor, the language that you should be using in your marketing so that you can position yourself as the advisor and attract the high value clients. We're going to be looking at why business coaches get clients and why you don't get those good clients. We're going to be talking about that as well. So there's going to be quite a lot around positioning and also a little bit about delivery and the kind of things that you should be talking to your clients about so that you can command those higher fees. So if that's what you're after, then you're in the right place. So today, let me just share my screen. Business coaches are stealing your advisory clients and what you can do about it. That's what we're looking at today. For those of you who are new to me, I just want to give you a quick overview of who I am. So my name is Amanda Watts. Can you let me know in the chat box if you are a newbie, actually? I recognize most of your names. So I don't think I have many newbies on the webinar today, but let me know if you're a newbie in the chat box. Just type in newbie. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. I like to be interactive in my webinars. But basically, I've been working with accountants and bookkeepers now. It's coming up to 11, 12 years. On and off. At the beginning, I was a bit of a generalist and had a couple of accountancy clients, but now I solely work with accountants, bookkeepers, and CFOs, and I specialize in helping you with packaging, pricing, positioning, and making sure that you get those high value clients. So that's what I do. I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a facilitator, an author, advisor, trainer. I've written 4 books for the accounting profession, Business Advisor Playbook, Pioneering Practice, and Escape. I've also written Superpowers for Accountants, and my new book, which is called The Relationship Economy, is coming out in a few weeks. It's just being set as we speak. It's been proofread, it's been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten, and now it's ready. If you would like a copy of my new book, actually go to, I'm just going to put it in the chat box, amandasnewbook.com. Just Google amandasnewbook.com, type that into the URL, and if you click on there, hopefully that'll work. It should bring up, yeah, you can pre-order a free copy of my book if you would like it. It's called The Relationship Economy. It's all about building your castle and moat. So your moat is all about the depth of relationship, and your castle is the productized freedom practice. So that is coming out in a few weeks, and I'm very excited about it at last. Now, I specialize in helping you to move from a compliance-based business into a business advisory business. And I'm very passionate about this webinar in particular because I did a post yesterday, and in the post that I did yesterday, I was talking about how I've paid 300,000 or 250,000. It's about 300,000 now over the past 10 years to business coaches, and I've only paid 30,000 to accountants. And this really is a great example of every business owner out there. Now, I'm very fortunate. I understand numbers. That's why I work with you guys. The majority of businesses close. That's it. That's it. The majority of businesses close because they do not have enough cash and they do not make enough money. If business coaches were doing their job, and most businesses pay a business coach in some form or another, if business coaches were doing their job, then you guys would not be told that you need to be a business advisor. Business coaches aren't doing their job. Businesses are closing. And business owners are not getting the information that they need to have a successful business, but you are the keys to that information, which is why this is my favorite webinar, because really it's me saying to you, come on, guys, let's change the economy for the better. All right, so to get more insights around advisory, go to Amanda's new book to pre-register. You could look at doing our certification to become a business advisor. You can listen to the podcast. That's free. The Business Advisor podcast is free. You can go and get yourself a copy of the Business Advisor Playbook. That's now on Amazon. I don't know if we are giving it away for free. You could always go to the Business Advisor Academy website and have a look and see if you can find it. I'll see whether the team have still left it up. But the new book is the one that you want, which is amandasnewbook.com. All right. So this is a nag. It's what gets caught, not what gets taught. So I'm going to teach you loads of stuff today. I want you to be making notes, please, and doing screenshots, because the things that I'm sharing with you today can be used in your next conversation with a client. They don't even have to be an advisory client. That can be a conversation you're having with someone and you want to test whether or not these questions actually help you build a relationship with your clients. Today is very much about information that you can act on in this webinar. So today's purpose is to answer one question. How can I move the money that people like Amanda is spending on business coaches to spend money with you on business advisory services? Does that kind of work for you? Would you like that? Just let me know in the chat box, yes or no, if that sounds like something that you would like from today's webinar. Let me know. All right. So as I said, these are old numbers now, because actually I've spent more on staff training and consulting and a little bit more on audit and accountancy fees. Okay. So this is screenshots from my Xero. It's not a pie in the sky claim. It's actually more than this now. All right. So business coaches literally steal your advisory clients. So what I would love to know from you is what percentage of revenue currently comes from advisory services. So David, let me know in the chat box. Jeffrey, let me know in the chat box. Helen, how you doing? Let me know in the chat box. Jeff, Jonathan, Mark, Stuart, how are you, dude? Let me know in the chat box what percentage of revenue actually comes from advisory right now. And if you don't want the world to know, just send it to me privately. That's absolutely fine. What I would say is when I ask this question to prospects, and as you know, I've spoken with thousands of accountants and bookkeepers over the past 10 years. And the average number, the average percentage is between 5 and 8% of your firm is actually advisory. So Jeff says 10 to 15%, which is brilliant. That's good in comparison to the average. Okay. What I would say is the majority of you are giving advisory away for free, and you probably would be way more than that, but you're not charging for it. Dennis says 0%. We're working on that, Dennis. Be good to see you on a call. Mark says 4%. Okay. 3% says Mohammed. Okay. Right. So that's kind of low, right? What would you like it to be? So those who answered and those who haven't, what would you like it to be? Do you want it to be 50%? Do you want it to be 5%? Where do you want it? 16 clients. So I think, Mark, you're talking to me about a number of clients, because 16% is very specific. 16%. Okay. That's very specific. At least 50, says Jeff. Okay. 1/6 says Mark. Right, perfect. Okay, so why are we having such a small percentage? And I can probably tell you that the answer is that you don't position yourself to get the advisory clients, or you want the advisory clients, but you don't actually know what you're going to be doing with them to be able to get them and serve them. So what I want to talk about is how you can get all this cash and get all these clients for yourself. Okay. Now, in the UK, and I know that there's people from all over the world on today's webinar, but in the UK, we find that business coaches typically charge between $250 and $3,000 per month. In the States, that goes up to $5,000 per month. Okay. Now, Action Coach is the largest franchise here in the UK and Australia of business coaches. This is what it said a couple of years ago was the average fees. So online self-paced learning with no support whatsoever, £50 to $500 a month. That means that nobody is actually coaching them. They're actually coaching themselves watching videos. You don't charge that much for you doing the work and the compliance work. You don't charge $500 a month. So you're actually doing the work and you're charging less from someone who is recording videos and telling people to do it themselves, right? So today, I hope, will be a bit of a wake-up call. Group coaching is between $200 and $1,000 a month. So group coaching or more, right? You're not charging that. And what I'm saying to you guys is you want to charge $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month for advisory, yet people are charging this for group coaching. Okay. One-on-one coaching is $1,000 to $3,000 a month. This is the bit that really feels like a kicker. On the Action Coach website, they don't use the word coach. They use the word advisor. Okay. So what's the next step? This was on their website. Use the Speak with an Advisor tool or reach out with one of our action coaches. So they encourage you to speak to an advisor, and these are your potential clients. So If business coaches were doing their job, 50% of small businesses would not be failing in the first 5 years. What we need to do is step up and enable these small businesses to survive. They're turning to business coaches, but they need you, because we know that every business that survives has good cash flow, has money in the bank, has great revenue, is growing, possibly to sell. Sometimes it just sustains a really nice lifestyle for people, but we need to create better businesses, and better businesses start with you guys. You are probably giving away advisory for free. Now, what I want you guys to understand here is if you give away free information, nobody is going to act on it. I have people who have been coming to my webinars for 8 years and never acted on the information I've given because it's been for free. Now, a lot of you have this problem, which is the quick question trap. It's 15-minute calls that turn into hour-long strategy sessions, and your clients still don't take action. It's something that they call the knowing doing gap. So I know I should do this, but I don't do it. And what we need to do is get your clients paying you. Instead of having I've got a quick question and then not taking action, we've got to get them paying you so that they know, and then have you keeping them accountable and helping them feel safe and have hope that what you're saying is going to work, and they then take action. Now, this knowing doing gap you might see outside of the work that you do with your clients as well. And I kind of want to share this with you. I've got a friend, and what she does is she comes to me and asks me for business advice. And I tell her to do many things, but she's a friend of mine and I don't charge her. She doesn't take action and doesn't get results. So I introduced her to my business coach friend and I said, speak to Amy. I recommend that she works with you, and Amy gets paid $6,000 a year to give my best friend the same information that I give her. However, she takes action because she's paid Amy. People who pay attention. So the majority of you will be giving advisory away for free, thinking it's a value add, but you're adding very little value because your clients aren't taking action. So what I would like to share with you now is something called the transformation framework. And the transformation framework are 3 conversations that need to happen in every business to ensure that they do not close. So if we want to close this 50% gap, these are the things that we need to be talking about. Now, the money conversation is the one where you're going to naturally gravitate to. How many of you feel comfortable when you talk about money with your clients, right? Just give me a yes or a no. And if you've just joined, this is an interactive webinar, right? This is an interactive webinar. So please make sure that you're commenting. Yes, 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 right? All of you feel comfortable with the money conversation. Mohammed says no. All right, that's interesting. So Mohammed, just so I can check, are you an accountant or a bookkeeper? Because like if someone came to me to speak about my things that I'm really good at, I would feel pretty comfortable with it. Siobhan says no. Okay, so what we have here is possibly a confidence, possibly a knowledge trap. I'm going to give you some questions to talk around the money that might make you see that you maybe have a little bit more confidence. All right. The second one is a strategy conversation. And the third kind is the future conversation. Now, the majority of you don't touch strategy and future, but if you want to be a business advisor and you want to get better clients, I highly recommend that you sit and you help around all 3 of these things. A business coach does the strategy and future, but doesn't do the money. Now, we could actually just do the money without the strategy and future and have a very successful business, okay? Because we could wing it. But we can't wing it if we don't have the money conversation, because you can't wing the money. All right. You can wing the future and the strategy. You can't wing the money. So this is why you are the most important person to sit next to a business owner and help them transform their business. So these are the money conversations. And Siobhan, hopefully this will help you. Okay. This is where you have automatic authority. If you call yourself an accountant, a bookkeeper, a chartered accountant, a CFO, a financial coach, if you say you're a CPA, if you say you're an EA, if you're based over in the States, you already have authority to have these conversations. So imagine you're sitting with your client and they're sat across from you, and let's hope that they're sat next to you or they're on a Zoom call. Doesn't matter which, right? You're going to run a report. Now, you might run this report monthly, you might run it quarterly, you might run it yearly. Maybe you're going through the year end with them. This is the only time you speak to them in the year. This is the question that you need to ask them, based on your current numbers, what worries you the most about the next 12 months? This is a money conversation. Based on your numbers, what worries you most about the next 12 months? Now, if their revenue's been stagnant, they might say, I'm going to have the same kind of year, or it could get worse next year. Okay. If their revenue's growing, they could say that my profits are going to go down, or they could say that I can't sustain it, or that I've taken on too much debt. It just opens up a conversation. And advisory is actually about getting your client to talk and to uncover what their problems are and how to help them take action to overcome their problems, or what the solutions are and help them take action to get the solutions in place. Another one, if cash wasn't a constraint, what would you invest in first? So I'll say this to you guys, right? If cash wasn't a constraint in your business, if you had an abundance of money flowing through your business and you didn't know what to do with it, what would you invest in first? Think about it just for a second. How do you feel when I say to you, if you had as much money as you could ever ask for in your business, what would you invest in first? That question opens up a completely different way of thinking. If you think about the majority of us business owners, we're stuck in the weeds. I talk about creating a monster business, and a monster business is working too hard for too little money, having to look after your team, having too many clients, not charging enough, right? That's the majority of most businesses out there. If you are running a monster business, you don't have time to even think big, to think creative. You don't have anyone ask you these questions. And the business coach is not asking you this question. The business coach is often going, oh, where do you want your business to be in 5 years? Great, let's put a funnel in place. Let's get more clients. And sometimes getting more clients is not the answer. So what we want to do is really sit with our clients and help them see that big picture. Here's another great one. What's the most expensive business mistake you've made in the last year? What's the most expensive business mistake you've made in the last year? Is it that you've invested money in something you shouldn't have done? Is it hiring a wrong team member? Is it that you haven't invested and you wish that you had? What's the most expensive? And if you've never thought about that before, just spending 10 minutes thinking about that will transform your following year. Which part of your business is actually losing you money right now? Do you even know? I've had clients come to me, and they have had clients that are costing them money, not making them money. And that's really interesting. Their team member is spending so many hours servicing these clients that they're actually they're paying their client to have them as a client. Okay. Now, here's another one. If you could improve one financial metric by 10%, which would make the biggest difference? And you can decide what those KPIs are, those financial metrics are. It could be revenue, it could be profit, it could be cash in bank, it could be owner's pay, it could be the running of the OPEX, it could be reducing costs, it could be so many different things. But you could put together a list of all the things that a financial number that they could move. And if you could work on them moving that by 10%, how much would that change their world, right? Can you see how different this is from let me explain your profit and loss, or let's go through your year end? These are money conversations that you can have, and it doesn't require you to have the answers. It requires you to ask the right questions. And that's something that advisory is very much based on. These are the kind of things that a business coach does. Then we've got the strategy conversation. And this is where we translate numbers into strategic insights, right? This is where you're moving into high value territory. If you can feel comfortable doing this with your clients, this is where you're really becoming that business advisor that you need to be. So what 3 things need to happen this year for you to feel successful? Has anyone even asked you that question? Do people ask me that question? I actually have a very good business coach that's very good at the strategy conversation. Which part of your business deserves more attention but keeps getting ignored? What are your competitors doing that are keeping you awake at night? That's a good one. If you had to double your business with your current resources, what would you do differently? I was speaking to a lovely lady a moment ago, and I was doing a diagnostic for her, going through what she needs to change, right? If she doubles her business with clients right now, with the same resources that she has, she will break. She's desperate for team members. And getting good team members is the hardest thing that we can go through right now, especially in the UK, right? So we need to ask these questions. And I ask my potential clients these questions. We need to ask these questions to your clients. What's the one decision you've been avoiding making? If you want to actually help your own business, I would write down the answers to these questions for yourself before you answer them for your clients. Then we've got the future conversation. Now, this is where you become totally indispensable for your clients. This is where you earn the really big fees because you're actually helping your clients achieve big goals in the future. So questions could be like, what does your business need to look like in 3 years to support your personal goals? Again, the lady I just spoke to, really lovely lady, has very big personal income that she needs to extract from her business. And that is putting a strain on her business. Now, I've got a sentence that I absolutely love, which is every business problem is a personal problem showing up in your business. Every business problem is a personal problem showing up in your business. That could be a confidence problem. That becomes a business problem. Could be a mindset problem. It could be a time problem. It could be a money problem. You could have personal money problems, and that is putting a strain on you in your business. It could be a marketing problem, but you don't know how to do marketing. Well, that's a personal problem, not a business problem. That's then showing up in your business. So these kind of things that we are uncovering here will really enable a business owner to understand how to look at their future and how to come up with their own answers, but you ask the questions so they can come up with them themselves. If you're going to sell your business in 2 years, what would we need to fix first? What capability does your business need to develop to stay competitive? And again, I'll go back to the lady I've literally just spoken to, which is why I'm sharing it with you. She said to me, her differentiation is that she doesn't just do the compliance, she also is a virtual finance director, okay? Virtual FD. How many of you go, well, that's what we do too? Probably quite a lot of you. There is no difference. So the capability that she needs to fix and that you need to fix is actually how to differentiate yourself and position yourself in the marketplace so you have no competitors. But if you don't ask yourself that question, you're not going to know what to answer. And if you don't ask your clients that question, you're not going to know what to answer. If you could structure your business from scratch, what would you do differently? I love this one. If you could structure your business from scratch, what would you do differently? This is exactly what I did back in 2015. I blew my business up. I had a team of 14 people. I had really high revenue. I was doing work for clients. It was exhausting. My team was exhausted. I burnt out. I got shingles. My hair started falling out. I ended up in bed. It was horrendous. I blew up my entire business and went, I am restructuring. I am starting from scratch. And that's how I came up with the freedom practice methodology. All right. So if you could restructure your business from scratch, what would you do different? Now, all of these things position you as vital, and vital stands for valuable, impactful, trusted, agile, and lucrative. And this is where, if you position yourself as vital for your clients, you help them achieve their dreams, you help them put together a strategy to make that happen, and you have that money conversation with them that enables them to have the cash and the profit and the cash flow and just money in OPEX and money in a profit bank account, and they're happy and they're investing and they're getting investment and they're hiring the best team, all because you've had these 3 conversations. These will transform your ability to offer advisory. All right. So it shows you understand the business, not just the numbers. That's very important. This transformational framework is absolutely transformational for your clients. It differentiates you from other accountants because other accountants are just having the money conversation at best. Naturally leads to ongoing advisory work because you're having these conversations. So as I said at the beginning, make sure that you ask these questions to your compliance clients to open up a dialogue. When you open up that dialogue, they start to see you as more than just their accountants. It uncovers problems worth paying to solve. So when I asked you, let me go back to these questions. When I said, if you were going to sell your business in 2 years, what would we need to fix first? If you have like this idea that you want to sell your practice, that really uncovers problems that we need to solve that you might not have thought about. And it positions you as a strategic advisor. So this is what I'd like you to do from the transformational framework. I would like you to ask them to your best clients this week. So ask one question from money, strategy, and future. That's it. One question from money, strategy, and future questions, and ask just your clients, your best clients, one of those. Listen for any problems that you can solve, and then go, I can help you with that. Would you like some help? And then send me a message and let me know what happened. All right. Business coaches are asking these questions all the time, but they don't necessarily understand the answers from a money point of view. They might understand them from, hey, let's do more marketing. But you know what? Getting more clients wasn't the answer for my lady that I spoke to a moment ago. She doesn't need more clients. She needs a better product. She needs to be pricing better. She needs to hire better teams so they can deliver differently. Okay. So more clients would break her, and a business coach would come in and go, hey, let's get you more clients. No, that's not what it's all about. All right. So today's purpose was to help you understand how you can position yourself in the role of a business coach and how it's all about just asking questions. Now I want you to actually know how to position yourself to get those clients. All right. So your biggest competitors for advisory are not other accountants. It's not the folks that are here. It's the business coaches that are out there. They're the ones who are taking the money. Now, a business coach is often ex-corporate managers. It could be weekend course certified. They might not even be certified, right? Anyone can call themselves a business coach. Anyone can go, hey, I'm going to be a business coach. They might have been made redundant, right? And they've gone, do you know what? I'm going to invest in a franchise. They could be an action coach. They maybe have never run a business before, and maybe they worked in retail before, right? And have no experience in ever running a business or understanding how a business runs, but they do a course, they pay action coach like £70,000, and now they've got to make money fast. So they're going to go out and do a lot more marketing than you are because they're in debt already. Maybe they're motivational specialists. They're really good at getting you very excited. I'm quite good at that, right? System implementators. They help you implement systems. And vision creators. They'll help you do that future stuff, right? But they don't help with the money side. What do? Well, you're professionally qualified. You've got years of technical training. There's no way you would be an accountant or bookkeeper without any training. You don't just wing that, because you can't just wing that. And if you're able to sign off accounts, then you would definitely have gone through rigorous training. Some bookkeepers can learn how to do bookkeeping and don't have to do it for years before you can become a bookkeeper. It doesn't mean that you're any less valuable. What it does mean is that you've had your fingers in so many businesses and you understand the numbers that you can help them. Okay. Your number specialists, your strategic analysts, and your profitability experts. Your profitability experts. A business needs profit. That's how you can help them. Now, this is who business coaches target. Okay. Anyone who feels stuck, companies who want to scale, entrepreneurs who need guidance, anyone with growth ambition, those willing to invest in themselves. That's who business coaches go after when they do their marketing. You guys go, hey, I can help you with your tax. Do you need help with bookkeeping? I can do your year end. Oh, VAT, you need to do that every quarter. Oh, do you need help with payroll? Now, the problem is all of the things that you market to and who you target, those people don't necessarily want business coaching or advisory work. So you're using language that is enabling business coaches to keep all the advisory clients. What they do is they're active on social media. They do the motivational content. They're posting videos. They have client success stories. They have a lot more gumption than you do. And that's because their personalities is probably more extrovert. And I get that. I totally get that. But they also do bold promises and guarantees, professional personal branding. They have the pictures done. They go to networking events. They appear on podcasts. They do webinars, right? The majority of you, referral based, you have a basic website, you show up on LinkedIn and go, hey, I'm doing marketing, which you're not. Professional associations, you talk about technical updates. Like when it's budget season, my gosh, that's when you all come out of the woodwork, right? You go, hey, look at our version of the budget update, which, by the way, they can just go into Claude now. So please don't do that. They'll literally go into Claude and tell me the things that we got from the budget. Okay. And you guys wait for clients to come to you. Business coaches, this is what they know. Basic business terminology, which they've learned from a course, probably. Maybe they've bought and sold. This isn't all business coaches, but the majority of them. Generic growth strategies, motivational techniques. Sometimes they do NLP, something like that. Basic planning tools, surface level metrics like revenue. They might look at profit, but not necessarily looking at costs, I wouldn't imagine. Knowledge base for you guys. Look how much knowledge you've got. Complex financial analysis, true business performance metrics, industry benchmarking, risk assessment, tax implications, cash flow, profitability, business valuation, financial modeling, exiting. Like a lot of my clients help businesses exit, especially the CFOs that I work with. All right. You have a huge knowledge base. You're not shouting about it and you're not helping the right people in the right way. I've mentioned the pricing models, right? So business coaches charge very high ticket. You charge hourly rates of 25 to £200 or dollars, fixed fee compliance work, project-based pricing for any advisory stuff, or maybe you clear up messes and you project-based pricing on that, annual tax return and monthly bookkeeping fees. That's why business coaches earn good money and you guys are exhausted and burnt out and overworked and underpaid. So, reality check. Business coaches charge premium for service level, make recommendations without understanding the numbers, create strategies without the financial validation, build unrealistic forecasts, miss crucial compliance implications. Like, I've had business coaches that are like, put it on the business. Put it through the business. That's all right. And I'd be like, I can't put it through the business. They, yeah, you'll be fine. No one checks. Here's another one. One of my friends said to me, I'll open another bank account, and one of the payments, one of my clients every single month, I will put that money into a new bank account. Ready? I will put that money into a new bank account so I can pay off my debt and the tax man can't find it. I just want to share that is what business owners think that they can get away with. A friend of mine, Amanda, I'm going to open up. So my business is based in the UK. I'm going to open up a secret UK bank account and put money into that so the tax man can't find it. That is the advice that she is getting. How many of you does that make your blood boil? I just said to her, I said, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not possible. The tax man will find it and it's illegal. All right. So I hope that makes your blood boil. And that is what business coaches are teaching. This is why it's so important that you guys help these people. And I can't believe that I haven't got all of you commenting in the chat box over that story. If you think it's possible, tell me and I'll go back and go, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But I don't think it is, right? Right. This is what you can do. You're sitting on a goldmine of client data, understand true business performance. You're seeing patterns across industries that you work on the same businesses all the time. You know what works and what doesn't. You have qualifications to give the advice, not like the one advice I just shared with you. So what we have to do is make sure you reclaim your territory. So this is an action plan for you. I want you to immediately review your top 10 clients' business coach spending. How many of you know how much your clients are spending on coaching or consulting? It'll come under consulting, coaching, whatever you've put it under, right? It's your job. How many of your clients are spending on that? They're the ones that you need to go and ask the money questions to and see what they come up with, and the strategy questions and the future questions, because a lot of business coaches don't do that either. None of your current clients hire a coach. That's interesting. So Lisa, A, how many clients have you got? And B, what size are these clients? Because every business that I know is successful has a coach. I would not be where I am today if I hadn't invested that 300,000 in coaching. Now, I'm very lucky. I understand the numbers. I feel like I get that. But my friends have invested the similar amount and not had the same results that I have, because it's the numbers that have given me the confidence. So I'd be interested to know how big those clients are, whether they're ideal clients for you. Are they, do they have the revenue? Should they be investing in coaching? If you ask these questions, that then means that you don't even have to take them from a business coach, right? But this is the thing that we need to be doing, is going, if you do not get my help, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, this is what you need to be saying. If you don't get my help, how can you expect to still be here in 5 to 10 years' time? You have never done this before. Why are you winging the numbers? You have never done this before. Why are you not having someone that you can be accountable to? Okay. Then I want you to think about your marketing transformation. So I want you to rebrand. Now, these are just ideas. Like, I'm not telling you to become a profit strategist or a growth advisor. I'm just saying that if you use the word accountant, you'll get accounting clients. We need to reposition you. Create content showing financial impact of decisions, not create content of this is what's happening with the budget, but create content that shows them, if you decrease your cost by 10% and increase your revenue by 10%, that equals this kind of impact if you have this kind of business. And it becomes fun. I obsess in all of my Claude, trying to play with different percentages and do all these things. Let your clients see the numbers as fun. And let your clients enjoy it. Now, the only time we don't find something fun is if it's stressful. And if they've got a bad business, it's going to be stressful. So we need to take the bad business to a good business so we can have a fun business, right? Share real case studies with the numbers of how you've worked with people and highlight your unique financial insights. When it comes to your service, we need to package your knowledge into premium offerings and create monthly strategy retainers. That's exactly what business coaches do. They don't sell by the hour. If they do, they're not very good business coaches. And I would never buy from a business coach that prices by the hour. We need to develop growth advisory programs, right? And build profit improvement packages for our clients. Then what we need to do is shift your positioning. And positioning is about how you show up on your website, how you show up in your language, how you show up on your social media, how you show up as a person. All of that is about positioning and the language that you use. So you go from compliance to being strategy based, from a historian to forecaster, from a reporter to advisor. So it's less about backwards and all about forwards, from technician to strategist. That's what we need to do. We need to move you away from the traditional accounting and bookkeeping language. I'm not saying don't do the traditional compliance work, because I'm a big believer of garbage in, garbage out. So I like it when you do the compliance work for your advisory clients. We have a hybrid, okay, but we need to shift you from that's how you present yourself to presenting yourself as a high-level advisor. And then these are conversations that you can have. So Lisa, where you say none of your current clients hire a coach, if you said to them, who's advising you on business decisions? And they'll all come back and say no one. And then you'll say, well, how are you validating any decisions you're making? And they'll be like, well, what do you mean? Well, how do you know what you're doing is right? Well, I don't. Well, do you think you should get some help? All right. Ask questions. It opens up the opportunity for you to show that you can help people. What's the ROI on your current business coaching? So I know that I've invested that amount of money, but I have made, like, I've 10x'd, 20x'd the amount of money that I have made from investing in coaching. I have no problem with that at all. Okay. Lisa says, I've been a bookkeeper for 49 years, but I have no confidence that I can be an advisor. Lisa, could you help me with the money questions? Imagine I'm your client, right? Could you help me with those money questions? Let me know in the chat box. Yes. What's the worst that will happen if you ask me that question? What's the worst that will happen? What's the worst? You won't know the answer, right? So if you don't know the answer, when you ask someone a question, they give you an answer. Yeah, when they give me an answer, I have no idea what to do next. Okay, so then you ask another question. All right, so I said to you, you've said to me, I've got no confidence. A lot of people think that they should fix you. All right, they'd be like, right, okay, we need to build your confidence. Actually, what we need to do is help you see that the problem that you think you've got, because actually you haven't got confidence, you're actually worried that you're not going to have the answers. So now we're not working on your confidence, we're working on the fact that you're worried about the fact you don't have the answers, right? So at what point did we say, by we, I mean everyone like me, did we say that you need to have the answers to everyone? If you asked me a question, Lisa, and I said, I don't know the answer to that, but just give me till tomorrow morning and I'll come back to you, would you think I was a bad advisor? No. So that's what we do. We ask questions, we gather information, then we can diagnose separately if we need to. By the way, you're overthinking this. I'll just say that now. You will have the answers. But if you ever get stuck, you can diagnose and then, okay, I do this sometimes with tax questions my customers have. So why can't you do it with advisory? You can absolutely do it with advisory. So it's not a confidence problem you have. You have a problem around, what if I don't know the answers? So once you answer that question, and by the way, I got to that bit when I asked you questions. I didn't try and fix the confidence. I didn't go, oh, well, if you want more confidence, these are the 5 things for you to do, because that's not the problem. You've got to uncover the actual problem. So you do that by asking questions. So one of the things that you could do, all of you could do if you wanted to, let me just bring it up, is if you haven't got it, Lisa, go and download resources, advisory flashcards. And like, I know I'm speaking with Lisa, but this is relevant to all of you. So these are 52 flashcards to help you have better advisory consulting conversations. These questions here add to the money, strategy, and future. They give you more questions to do and what to do when someone has this problem. Say they're stressed out, right? It gives you the questions to ask them when they're stressed out and when to use them. So do go and download those. If I click on that, let me just do this here and put it in the chat box. But all of you would be able to ask better questions. It's funny because I was talking to my cousin at the weekend, and my cousin was saying to me, and I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute. My cousin was saying to me, oh, your son, he's amazing. Like, he talks to everyone. He's just like you. He's a bunny. And I said to Josh, my son, I said, how have you got the confidence to talk to all these people that you don't know, right? What is it that gives you confidence? He says, I don't talk to them. I just ask them questions. I said, how do you know what questions to ask them? This one's funny, right? And he's like, I just repeat back what they've just said to me. And I was like, what, you repeat back what they say to you? And then he carried on going, yeah, I stand in the conversation and I repeated back to him. I hope this is making sense. I repeated back to him the end of his conversation, and that got him to continue what he was going to say. So if I was to say to you, Lisa, I've been doing this for bookkeeping for 49 years, but I have no confidence that I can be an advisor. If I said back to you, you've got no confidence of being an advisor, you would then say the next bit, well, when they give me an answer, I have no idea what to do next. And then I'd say back to you, you don't know what to do next. And you go, no, because, and you would keep on telling me until we got to a stage where I uncovered exactly what we needed to talk about. Can you let me know that that makes sense? Can you just like all of you, let me know if that makes sense? Because that's how us introverts can look like extroverts, by asking so many questions and repeating back. And I thought that was genius. So my son, he absolutely gets exhausted by people. He's like, right, I'm peopled out. I need to go into a cave and recoup my energy. So he's an introvert, but he and I both look like extroverts because we just ask questions. And asking those questions makes us look like really personable people that never ever run out of information. But yeah, there you go. David says that's what the Queen used to do. Yeah. That's what the Queen used to do. But that's very much the basis of advisory. Advisory isn't, oh, you must do this. It's ask the right questions to get the right answers. And if you don't know the answer, go away and say, I'll come back to you with the answer on that. All right. Hopefully that helps. I can't fix your confidence. Confidence comes from doing the work. There's no magic way to fix it. But to do the work, I've got to give you the tools to enable you to ask a few questions so you can build your confidence. All right. So the list of everything that I would like you guys to do, please take a screenshot of that. It's exactly what you need to really move forward with your advisory. So this is the money that you're leaving on the table. This is really key. Business coach client, $2,000 a month, pays you £500 a month for your compliance work. They get advice from a coach, but they validate the decisions with nobody that understands the financials. Potential advisory client pays $3,000 a month, gets advice from you, validates decisions with you, and actually implements because they're data-driven strategies. 50% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. You can fix this. The reason why: clients are making important decisions right now and they are not getting proper financial validation. If they were, would these business coaches be able to help them? Yes. Are they helping them? No. And as you said, Lisa, I think it was you, said that you don't actually have any clients that use business coaches. They're not even using business coaches. That you can fix that. They're paying more for less quality advice. You're actually stopping them by not offering them help around the numbers. So it's silly things. It's making sure that businesses are actually optimizing their tax the best way that they can. You could save them £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a year just by helping them optimize that. If you're not having conversations with them, all you're doing is the compliance work and you're just ticking boxes and you're hoping that the business coaches are helping them. They're not. The business coaches don't understand the nuances. They don't know that you can take £50 vouchers up to the value of £300 and then use that to buy your daughter Uggs for Christmas, right? That's what I did, okay? Don't tell HMRC, but I'm allowed to do that because I'm allowed to do £50 vouchers, but a business coach doesn't know that, right? So these are the kind of things that you could do that could transform your client's world, right? Implement strategies that may harm their financial position. That's what a lot of business coaches, like what my friend has been told to do. Like, none of you commented on that. Did that not just make you go, oh my gosh, she's been told to open a new account and hide money. How can you even do that? Like, I'm shocked that none of you are appalled. Maybe I'm more invested than you are, right? getting generic advice when they need specific guidance. Yeah, that was an oh my God. Right. Thank you. At least I've got someone who gets it. If for me, I was just like, nothing surprises me. Yeah, it might, well, it surprised me, but then I'm not in it all the time with clients. But I just fell off my chair. I was like, how can you as a business owner, she has good revenue, how can you as a business owner think that that is something that you can do? Still in shock. Yeah, right. Thank you. All right. So why this matters now, you are the most qualified person to give business advice, because business is about the numbers. Business isn't about meditating and hoping the world is full of abundance and I can attract money to me. Okay. It's data. Business is data. The only one who truly understands their numbers, you're best positioned to be able to do this, you're most capable of validating strategies, and you're already trusted with their most sensitive information. And I just want to share this one, right? So I say to my clients, can you tell me what your current revenue is? And the majority of you, if I asked you to put your current revenue in right now, you'd be like, I'm not telling you that. Why do you need to know that? A business coach will be like, what's your current revenue? And they'll be like, oh, it's this. The business coach doesn't validate that. The business coach doesn't have access to their zero. The business coach doesn't know what's going on month to month to month to month to month. But you as the advisor does, because you have access to all the numbers that they don't want to share because they're too embarrassed to share it. All right. They trust you with their most sensitive information. There is not a question that you can ask them that is going to make them more worried or more shy with sharing. Okay. So that's basically the situation. There are people paying £3,000 or more a month to business coaches and still going under. You need to step up. If it's a confidence thing, then we need to give you the tools so that you feel more confident having advisory conversations. If it's attracting the right kind of clients, then that's a packaging problem, because you need to be able to articulate your positioning, and you can't do that if you don't have the right packaging in place. If you have got clients and they're all sorts of clients and there's nothing about any of them that are the same, you've got a client problem. If you are showing up on social media, but you're not getting anything but bookkeeping clients, that's a positioning problem. There's so many things that are going on in your practice where more clients doesn't fix your problem. You want to make more revenue. Well, do you really want to make more revenue, or do you want to make more profit? Do you want to get more cash? Do you want to take more cash out? Do you want to actually sell something that provides more value? All of that starts with positioning, who your ideal client is, packaging it up, and then promoting the right thing to attract better team members and better clients. All right. So what I would love to know from you guys is, what is your takeaway from today's webinar? Now, my webinars, if you're a newbie, they're very rarely am I here to sell to you. I might mention my program at the end. What I'd like to do today is, if you have enjoyed what I've shared with you today and you would actually like to make that happen, what I would suggest is that you book a call in to talk to me about how I can help you in the program that I do. I'm just going to grab it here and share it with you. There's the link for you to book a call with me. In that call, I don't sell. I'm not a salesperson. Before the call, I will send through the exact program, the investment for the program. If after you watch the video and it doesn't feel like something that is in alignment with what you want, you can cancel the call. My suggestion is book a call, watch the video, find out about the pricing, how it works, what we help with, and then that will give you the tools to make the decision as whether or not now is the right time, or whether or not you want to go away and think about it and everything. All right. But that's the best way to get some support. I would love to know from you. If you would like to ask me any questions, you can message me in LinkedIn. The best way to find me online is to type in Amanda C. Watts onto Google. I'll take over the first couple of pages. I will also come up on LinkedIn. Lisa says, I missed the first 15 minutes. We'll need to watch a replay, but you like what I've said, and it's something that I could possibly do. Big step up from me to no way I can do that. Hey, it's amazing. And that's just in like 45 minutes or half an hour for you because you're 15 minutes late. You've got this. You've all got this. The thing that stops you from taking action is the knowing doing gap. And I've done an episode on it on my podcast, Knowing Doing Gap, about 4 episodes ago. You know that you need to offer advisory, but you're not doing advisory because there's a gap in the middle. And there's things that get people to shift. And it's not just knowledge, because you know you need to do it, but you're not taking the action. The first is belief. Okay. Now, you can borrow my belief because you're not sure whether or not you can do advisory. You don't have the confidence. Sorry to repeat back to you, Lisa. It's not just you, by the way. Most of the people on this call today don't have the confidence to do advisory, even if they didn't say so. You need to borrow belief that you can do confidence. You can do advisory because you are not surrounding yourself with people that have gone through the process and started implementing it. And you need to do that because you need to borrow belief from other people. You need to have grounded hope that it works. You need to feel safe and secure that you're in an environment that will help you do that. And you also need accountability to help you take action. Now, that knowing doing gap, that is what you need to close. And that's what you need to close for your clients. And it's what you need to close for you. And if you do that, you will be able to have a really good business advisory program that you can sell, that you become confident. You don't start off confident, you become confident in delivering. Okay. Dennis has said, decided on the niche, logistics. Great. Can you bring it to a call? Dennis is a client and I haven't seen him for a while. Dennis, come to tomorrow's call at 4:00, please. I'd like to get a practice client to try it on. Great. So, Elisa, thank you, Dennis. Do you have a client that you can practice one of those questions on? Just choose one of the questions I've gone through today. Practice it with them. All right. And anyone who would like to get some support and find out how to work with me, then please do book a call. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that it was useful. I am not here to diss business coaches. I'm from Croydon. Can you tell? I'm not here to diss business coaches. I'm here to say that there is a gap that some business coaches can't close. And that's because they don't understand the numbers like you do, which leaves a gap for you guys to come into and be able to transform a business. Some business coaches are amazing. Some accountants are terrible. Okay. However, if you are on this webinar today, I guarantee that you've got that calling to do more advisory. You've got that calling to help people. So we have to close your knowing doing gap. There's 4 catalysts of change. I shared them with you. You need all of that in place to be able to have the confidence. You're welcome, Gurney. How are you? I haven't seen you for ages. You're welcome, Siobhan. Okay. All right. I will see you in next week's webinar. You can sign up for that now. That's all up and running if you want to. If you want to book a call, then please do book a call and find out how I can help you and support you. But for now, please, you have got a calling to help people with advisory. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come along and spent an hour with me today. So just kind of breathe into that. Know that there is a gap between knowing and doing, and you just need help filling that gap. If you can fill that gap, you can do, and then you can have the dream of being a business advisor, earning more money, making more money, taking home more money, making a bigger difference. Okay, that's the knowing doing gap. And please make sure amandasnewbook.com that you sign up for a new copy of my book, which will be out in a couple of weeks. All right. I'll see you all soon. Have a great day. It's been an absolute pleasure. And for those of you who have played full out and asked questions and engaged, thank you so much. It makes it so much easier for me. I thoroughly enjoy it when I'm answering questions and helping and supporting you. So if you come to next week and you didn't do that this week, make sure you do it next week. All right, nag over. See you all soon. Take care. Bye.